All right. I think we fixed it. We had a little technical glitch. Sorry. I think what happened, I put my camera on my mixing board, and there's a sub under there, and I saw it kind of vibrating, and I think it just made it mad. So it's all back. It seems like we're all up and running now. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. And again, I'm going to start over. This is my Facebook Live series that I'm doing, discussing records, songs from my record, Beautiful Brand New Day. It's the first record I've ever done on my own. That is me. This is Steve Mandile, and it's not a record that I produced for somebody else or wrote a song for or played guitar for or whatever. This is the first one I've ever done. That was just me. So I've decided to do a Facebook Live series discussing each track of the song, each track of the record. So this is week number 3. So it's track number 3. This one's called "Rock This Town." Now, people ask me where I got the idea for this song, and this is funny how I was pulling into my garage. Wrigley was in the back. Reagan was not with me, and Wrigley was in the back, and she was playing some little game on my phone. And I don't know if it was this, but it was something that reminded me of that da 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 da. And so I thought that was kind of neat. So I took the phone from her and see if I can get this. I've got this pulled up here. I did a voice memo that sounded like this. Complete with sound effects. So anyway, I did that on my voice memo. I just kind of thought, as what I do as a writer is not entirely different from what a lot of songwriters do. They have their voice memos on their phones, just wall to wall with ideas and little germs of ideas, and I'm no different. So I have on my phone, it's just a massive amount of little tiny ideas. Like I'll be playing guitar, just messing around on something. I'll play something I kind of like, so I'll grab my voice memo and I'll just make a little note of it. This is kind of neat, because I've woken up in the middle of the night with a song in my head. I thought, it's really great. I got to remember that, and I never remember. I don't know anybody that remembers, but I can't ever remember. So I always have to record it, and same with song titles or song ideas or line ideas. I've got on my notes on my phone. It's super, super long over the years of just little ideas. And "Rock This Town" was one of my titles that I had. And so when I heard that thing, I thought that "Rock This Town" title would be kind of neat on that, because it'd be real, kind of a neat thing. So anyway, that was several months ago, and I ran into some buddies of the guys that are in Low Cash, and Preston and I were talking, and we've known each other for a very, very long time, and we did the whole, hey, we got to write sometime, we should write, and sometimes you do and sometimes you don't, but we were doing a show with Charles Eston with Chip down at Florida, and we were opening up for Low Cash. So I called Preston and I said, hey man, we're on that show, I'll see you guys down there. And he said, hey, we should write. And it's good, when we get in the back of the bus, and we'll try to write, since we're all going to be down there. So I like to go in with an idea, and so I thought about this song would be good for them. So I wanted to have it kind of, a little bit more fleshed out. So I went back in and did another little work tape of it. There's a little bit more, had a little more music to it. So all I really had was the title. As it came closer, we did the date, and everybody got busy, and we didn't get it. We visited, but we didn't get a chance to get in the back of the bus and try to write something. But So when it came time for me to do this record, I kind of had that idea in my back pocket, and I was kind of like, maybe I can, let me mess around with that a little bit and see what I can come up with. So I actually did a track on it before I even wrote the lyric, which is, it's not totally unusual for me to do something like that, because as long as I have the title I mentioned before in one of my other videos, if I have a title, at least I know what I'm writing toward, or at least I know what the mood of the thing is going to be. And so I decided that I was going to play, let me put this in a way that I can, hang on one second, I'll put this in a way that I can play the guitar live, because it gets kind of funky. I decided I was going to, here we go, start off with a guitar lick, but a guitar is tuned up in E, and let me lower this down a little bit, sorry y'all, for the hand, but it's but the thing was a lot lower, it was in C. So I thought I'd just lower the guitar down. Really, as a so that would be like the ongoing thing that would just kind of just be the place that it always goes back to, no matter what else is going on. This big dumb guitar that's maybe not even totally in tune, real old school, just banging it out. So it kind of sets, even though it's not, musically a difficult thing, but it sets the mood and sets the tone of the whole thing. So anyway, so I did the track, and I'll go over some of the stuff in the track. There's some fun stuff on the track that's kind of neat to listen to, and I'll kind of single some stuff out. But I was trying to think about the lyric, and so I started writing, I'm going to rock this town, we're going to go, it's 5 o'clock on Friday, we're going to go to the club, we're going to rock this town, whatever, and write some big dumb song. And but the more that I kind of got into it, it felt a little bit too lightweight for me, and I'm always so much, I feel like I write a little bit better if there's something on my mind. And right now Reagan's going, be careful, because we talked about this a little bit, but with all the stuff going on in the world, excuse me, with all the, everything from Charlottesville to the anthem protests and all these different things that are going on, I kind of got, I don't have a real strong opinion about all that stuff. I see both sides of the anthem thing and all this kind of stuff, freedom of speech and all this kind of stuff. But don't disrespect the flag. And there's so many sides to it, But I kind of really feel like with everything that's going on, with like racism and all this kind of stuff, I felt like my voice wasn't really being heard, because my voice and the way that we live in this house and the way that we raise Wrigley is to love everybody. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter male, female, black, white, straight, whatever. We love everybody, and it's one of those things. And the more that I encounter people, just in general, just out and about, it seems like the more kind everybody is. No matter a total stranger, again, black, white, whatever. Everyone has been completely, seems like they've been even more kind. That all this stuff is going on, and it just feels like that's the way things are. And I got frustrated with that, and so instead of just, hey, we're gonna go party, I thought maybe sticking some lines in there that were basically like, we're gonna rock this town, we're gonna show the establishment and show the media and all these people that we're bigger than that, and the world isn't going to hell. The world's actually pretty great, I'm not saying things don't exist, of course they exist, but everybody that I know, everybody that I hang out with, I don't, I don't have any racist friends. I mean, I don't have, just put it out there. Everybody feels the same way I do. Everybody's kind of like, oh, it's all silly, you know. I mean, again, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying, you know, as more as a rule, you know, than an exception. You know, I really feel like everybody across the board feels the same way that I do, and I just feel like I felt like in this song I could say things. That's why there's lines in the song. I think. I'm trying to think of some of the lines of. It's a new day, saying what we can't say, and we may take chances that we can't take. Tell the big boys we're filling in the big void. Gonna hear a big voice make some noise. We're gonna rock this town. And that's kind of to me that was the spirit of the song. It made the song so much more easy to write to me. Just to have something like that to write about, rather than saying, "Hey, we're gonna go party," or whatever. Those of you that know me know I'm not a classic partier. You know, I don't drink, never been drunk. I don't drink, I don't do drugs. Reagan's never even tasted alcohol, so we're not really partiers. So I'm kind of a little bit fish out of water, and hey, let's go party. You know, so it just felt bigger to me. So that's if you listen to the song with that in your brain, it might feel a little bit different to you than the song might on the surface might imply. So anyway, so that's what it was about. That's how it came about. So again, pulling in the driveway with Wrigley in the backseat, playing some goofy little video that had a little piece of music that kind of caught my ear, and I took it and expanded it, and now it's third song on my record, "Rock This Town." You want to hear some? There's a little bit of fun stuff that goes on in the track that I thought might be kind of fun to listen to. I'm gonna turn this around. There's my Pro Tools. Again, let me put this stuff back like it was so it won't sound weird. All the things I have to do to make it sound good. But anyway, like to say, the beginning of it starts off with this guitar. And that's basically like I say, it's kind of the driving thing that happens throughout the song. The vocal, I thought was pretty cool. I sang it twice. I sang it.
You never make a headline walking in a straight line.
But I also underneath it.
You never make a headline walking in a straight line.
I did an octave down and I distorted it like through a guitar amp. It was pretty cool.
You never make a headline walking in a straight line. Great minds waste time following a timeline.
Can't really hear it in the mix, but it's kind of more felt than heard. But it's pretty effective, cool little thing. Just a little production thing. Another thing too that's interesting. I don't typically do this, but I played synthesizer bass instead of. Let's see. Oh, Darren Hirsch. What's on the master bus? Okay, well, I'll again, this is gonna be boring to some people. Ozone 6, man, it's the secret weapon. I love it. EQ, dynamic EQ. Excuse me. Imaging maximizer and awesome compressor, and it's just really, really great. Anyway, puts things up nice and loud and doesn't clip. There you go. There's your little technical. Here's another secret weapon, JST clip. Look it up for all you tech heads out there. Good stuff. Anyway, so that's so there's a lot of and this one has a lot of a lot of what we call ear candy in it. There's like this section here. Hang on a second. Get rid of that.
You don't get it done banging on a big drum like a load of shotgun.
So that whole section there is there's like this explosions going on. So just little fun things like that kind of make the whole thing sound kind of cool. I got all this cool backwards stuff going on. That happens right now. That's kind of fun. I always like stuff like that. That's kind of like just catches you. What is that? And then, you know, it's already gone before you realize what it is. But same thing here. See, what is this little noise here? Oh yeah, it's like a jet taking off during the entire breakdown section. Anyway, so that's just kind of stuff that's going on. The drums, like I say, Chuck Tilley usually plays on all my stuff. This particular song, I played drums on a keyboard. Thought it turned out pretty good. But this particular song, I really knew what I had in mind, what I wanted to do. Again, using Stephen Slate drums for all that. For those tech kids that want to know. But anyway, so that's how I did. That's how I wrote "Rock This Town," and that's the reason that I wrote it, and that's what I wrote it about, and it's also you know, some little insight on how I recorded it. I had a couple of people asking me a couple questions. I want to go ahead and get to the questions just because people were nice enough. I got some old friends. I can say old friends. I think my former English teacher. I think I saw her sign in. But another teacher from Lakeview High School way back in the day asked me, Betty Miner, she's a very, very sweet lady, says, music-wise, what are the 2 things that are still on your bucket list? Well, I think I'd like to win a Grammy. I think that'd be. I mean, I won a Latin Grammy for a song that I wrote for a Latin artist from Mexico named Alejandro Guzman, a song called De Verdad. So I wrote a song called Real, and they translated it to Spanish, and we won a Latin Grammy on that one. But uh-oh, getting some company. Come in. But the other thing, I think, just bucket list wise, just on a personal level, I would love to. Here's one of my greatest collaborations right here. Say hello.
It's one of your bucket list items.
Yeah. To play on stage with Paul McCartney probably would be, or with Neil Finn from Crowded House. Those are my 2 guys that I would just, you know, I would probably. I probably would just die on the spot if I got to do that. So that's the answer to those questions.
I have these written down if you want.
All those?
Yeah.
The new ones? Okay, you tell me. Oh, wait, sorry. Say hi to Reagan.
Peanut Gallery has arrived. Hello.
Hello.
Anyway.
Who is your biggest influence in your career and why? And are they the reason that you write and produce? Asked Donna Tucker.
My biggest influences in my career? Wow, that's a big one, and I can't really. You know what? I can't. There's so many different pieces of what I do. I'm a songwriter. I'm a guitar player. I'm a singer. I'm a producer. I'm an engineer. You know, I do all these different things, and I have heroes in each thing. You know. I would have to say probably if I had to just strip it down, Paul McCartney and Neil Finn from Crowded House are probably my biggest influences. I think you can hear it in my music. I don't think you. I think you couldn't. You probably, if you took those pieces out of what I do, there probably wouldn't be much left. Those guys are just like. They are my biggest influences. I do produce things arrangement-wise with those guys in mind. I tend to hit things a little bit harder production-wise because that's what I like. I like things to be bigger, and but those records are so amazing. Again, I referenced the Crowded House Woodface record, which is, in my opinion, one of the greatest records ever made. that thing just, there's so much going on. Wear headphones and listen to it. It's an incredible record, and the songwriting is incredibly deep. The production is incredibly deep, and even for someone who like me who listens to music in a lot different ways than most people do, I can still listen to it, and it'll, them and Steely Dan's another one, Donald Fagen and Walter Becker, who just passed away. Those records, I just have to. I've tipped my hat to those guys, and because those are probably my biggest influences.
This is a deep one.
Uh-oh.
How does your musical talent align with your purpose in life, and how do you hope your music impacts people? Stan Lang wants to know.
Stan Lang, hey buddy. I don't even know if you're on, but if you are, hey. Let's see. How does my music? Say it again.
How does your musical talent align with your purpose in life?
My purpose in life.
How do you hope your music impacts people?
As far as my music impacting people, I don't know that you can't really. What?
Go ahead.
You have to do your thing and just kind of hope that it impacts people. I don't think you can go into it saying I want to impact people. For me, I'm not doing it for that purpose. I hope that it does, and I hope people find good in it and things like that. But I think it's I guess I don't really think of it in those ways. As far as how my music in my personal life, how they're kind of they're kind of this. It's hard to tell. The lines are so blurred. Music is such a huge part of my personal life. It's my job. There's something musical going on around here all the time. It's being passed on to my daughter. She's a budding songwriter at 4 years old. She loves to sing, and so it's just there's constantly music going on here. If again, like I said, same scenario before, if you take away music out of my personal life, there wouldn't be a ton left. I mean, that music is the reason why I'm sitting in this house, in this studio, married to that woman, and have that kid. So it's music's been really, really good to me, and it is my entire life. So that's the best way I can answer that very deep question. Thank you, Stan Lang, for that.
Tessa de Berg from Belgium, who is watching live.
Ooh, it must be late in Belgium.
Yes. She wants to know about the beautiful photo on your album cover.
Well, let me tell you about the beautiful photo. We have a really good friend in New York. His name is Dean Holterman, and he is good friends with a legendary photographer, Mick Rock, who took the photo for the Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. He also photographed David Bowie, and just a long list. And that has nothing to do with my album cover. I just wanted to say that. Reagan took my iPhone, and we went next to our fence out here, and that picture on my record is the one I was squinting the least in, I think. And but there's your photographer right there.
Thank you.
It's right.
Thank
yeah, we did it on the iPhone. We used what was it? Word Swag app to do the logo, and yeah, man, we it's it was she was as far as photographers go, she was in my budget. And
what was it like working with such an incredible photographer, Steve?
Well, she gave me a lot of direction, and
I did. I told him to turn his head.
Yeah, turn my head. Stop squinting.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
It was a magical journey.
Yeah, and threw the camera down. She said, "I'm spent," and she walked off. So, anyway, so thanks for that great question.
What is the title of the first song you wrote and published, and did it ever get cut by anyone? Asks Darlene Beltran.
Darlene Beltran wants to know, what's the first song that I wrote that got published, and did it get cut? I bet you the percentage of people that got the first song that they wrote cut is very, very small. I don't even know the first song that I got published. I'll be honest with you. When I was when I first got signed. David Malloy and Jim Malloy had a company that was a partnership with BMG. That was my first publishing deal, and I don't know the first song that I wrote over there, but there were several that I wrote with a really great guy named Johnny Cymbal. I don't know how many of you guys remember Johnny Cymbal from the '60s. He was an artist. He had a song called Mr. Bassman. Look him up. I mean, he passed away years and years and years ago. But he was from Scotland, and he was the funniest little guy. And we had the best time writing. And I'll tell you a little funny story about my first publishing deal. I walked in to this publishing company who said, "Hey, just come and write with some of our writers." And I didn't know. I mean, it was literally pull in their driveway, get my guitar out of the car, and just put one foot in front of the other and walk into this place and say, "Hey, here I am. I want to write with somebody," and they hadn't even signed me yet. They said, "Yeah, tell them to come write with some of our guys." So I walked in, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning, and there was like 6 guys sitting around a couch, and they were having like conversation, they were laughing, and I walked around the corner, and they all just stopped and turned around and looked at me. And for like a couple of seconds, it seemed like about 10 minutes of silence, and they said, "Hey, it's Steve, come in here." Anyway, one of the guys sitting in there was Johnny Cymbal, and he said, "All right with you." So we went upstairs, and in this little house, as things were done in houses a lot, or used to be in Nashville. Went upstairs, and we started writing, a bunch of things together. They ended up signing me, and I can trace every publishing deal I've had in my life back to that first publishing deal, just from meeting people and somebody signing me after that deal, and someone else signed me from that deal, and it was a really great experience. But I'm sorry I don't know the name of the song, and I promise you it didn't get cut. It was I'm sure it was a masterpiece though.
Pepe Pereira wants to know when you're coming home.
Oh, Pepe Pereira. Pepe Pereira he's from San Angelo. He took my very first promo photo, and it was beautiful. Anyway, I like to come home to San Angelo as many times as I can. My parents moved here about 25 years ago, so my grandmother just passed away. I have a lot of friends still back in San Angelo, and I do love Henry's Diner and Fuentes and eating a Whataburger, but our travels just don't really take us down that way as much as I wish it did. But book us a date down there. We'll come down there. What's next?
D Man wants to know, are the vocals all you on the song?
On my entire record, do you want to know if the vocals were all me? I played every single instrument and sang every single thing on this record, except for the drums on about 4 songs, which Chuck Tilley played drums on. Everything else was me, and sitting here in my little workshop and making things. So that's everything you hear is me. All the background vocals, all the lead vocals, all that stuff.
Someone wanted to know who you would do a duet with if you had the opportunity, and then someone else said, Reagan, any chance of a duet with Steve? So I'm feeling what the people want.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's answer the Reagan one first. We already did a duet, and it turned into that. Oh, she's over there. She's hiding. Never mind. Anyway, Reagan is actually a great singer. Most people don't know that. I'm sure she's going, "No, I'm not," but she is. If you know, and let me take this second right now to tell you about her sister, Tia, who most of you may know. She's an amazing singer and amazing artist. She does a lot of traditional country music, and she's over there, please.
What are you doing, bud?
Well, my iPad's not working, and I want you to fix them because I want a color on that iPad.
Crisis.
Struggle of being 4 years old in a technological world.
All
right.
Anyway, Tia Goins, Goans. She is she's an amazing traditional country singer, and I'm sitting there saying, well, yeah, I got to say something about her, but that's not the point. She is amazing. Real deal. Sings on the Opry all the time. She works with the Gatlin brothers a lot. I couldn't be more proud of the work that she does, and Reagan used to be her backup singer, and also Reagan was back in the day, she was Annie in Annie, and
off Broadway.
Yeah, but she's growing up. She was a really great singer. I think she suffered from a little bit of stage fright, and she decided that singing probably wasn't for her. So she put it on the back burner and then turned the burner off, and she does not want to sing anymore, unfortunately.
Great way to put it.
Yeah, and I've actually coaxed her. I was producing a Cliff Richard record, and she actually sang backgrounds on a Cliff Richard record for me because I needed her. So did Tia, I think, it was Tia, and their mother.
Yeah.
I needed a big gang of people,
It's a joint effort.
Yeah, well, but she is also, I'll stick her up in the booth and say, look, I have to have a girl vocal on this, and she'll go up there and she'll do something. Or if I need a big gang thing, she's been in several party scenes that are in that needed a big gang vocal thing. She's on Chip's record, Charles Eston's record, on a couple of different songs, and anyway, so. But as far as doing a duet with her, I don't know. My dream duet partner. It's funny because I guess I don't really think in terms like that because singing is on the back burner of. It's kind of, and if I list things that I do, singing is pretty far down. So as far as me, I really want to sing with this person. I don't really think in those terms. I would be more like I would love to produce a record on that person, or I would love to play guitar like when Peter Frampton and I got to be friends, and we play guitar on Cliff Richard's record. Playing solos back and forth on a song called Dimples. It's really, really great. Or playing guitar with Tommy Shaw, who we've gotten to know, and trading solos with him. That to me, that's But again, if I had to pick someone I could be on stage with, I've said it 3 times already. Paul McCartney would probably be my main guy. And I probably won't have him, but I got to meet him thanks to Cliff Richard, who's one of my favorite people on the planet. But anyway, thanks for the question. What else?
How do you make recording tricks work when you're playing live?
That's a good question. Well, what a lot of people do, we don't in Sixwire, but what a lot of people do, they use tracks. They'll take all the stuff, extra background vocals, even some extra guitars or extra, all the little bells and whistles. A lot of times the drum loops, the drummer will be triggering. The drummer will have a big pad here, and he'll use a stick, and he'll hit this one pad, and it'll trigger the drum loops and all this, and the track that's going on. A lot of people use in-ear monitors so they can kind of hear a click track in their ears, so they know where they're at, and that's how almost every act you hear. If you go to a concert, they're using some sort of tracks on some level at some point. That's just the way things are done these days. So, and that's something like I've done production things for people, and they call them stems. I need the stems of I need this, and this, and this, and so you have to send them the stems, and they put them into this program that they use, and that way they can mix them how they want to. But yeah, what they usually do is they play the tracks. That's how you get all the little fun ear candy stuff. That's where it usually is.
How did you get the gig as Raina's band?
How do we get the gig as Raina's band on Nashville? Those who are not familiar with the TV show Nashville, Sixwire has been involved since the pilot episode. That's where we met Charles Eston, who has become one of my best friends and one of all of our really good friends, and we've been traveling and touring with him. But we got cast as Raina's band, and it's funny. I'll tell you a little story about that. We got a call from a friend of ours at the Grand Ole Opry, who we've known for years, and they said there's going to be a show called Nashville, and we're going to. This is what it is, blah blah blah. It's and you're not going to be playing. Well, backing up a few years, we have all been involved. We were involved in we were in the house band for Nashville Star. We were on a TV show called The Next Great American Band. We were the backup. We were the house band for a CMT show called Can You Duet, which had Steel Magnolia come out of it, and Joey and Rory and the Stellas, and that's the first time we met Lennon and Maisie. And then what just happened to my thing? Is it still?
I'm pretty sure it's still there.
I just went sideways with all my comments. So it's kind of weird. Anyway,
Oh, yeah, you're sideways again.
am I sideways again?
What the heck?
I don't know. I wasn't doing
I
anything.
Just turn it the other way.
It just did it. If I do that, does it fix it?
No.
That didn't fix it?
No.
What's wrong with it?
Oh, wait, yes, it did. Sorry, I'm behind.
Oh, okay, great.
You're good. Just scoot back. Get your head off.
Well, it's kind of weird. It's not worse. I don't know why this is acting up,
I
y'all.
don't know either. Anyway.
It's going to look weird on a computer. But anyway, so they called us to do that because we were. Let me see your phone. Let's see what it looks like. Let's make sure.
Like that.
How weird.
Loading head.
Let's see if I can get myself back in the center of the screen here. Okay. Okay, I got to figure it out now. Okay, so anyway, they called us because we were we'd done so much television, and they said someone just said, hey, if you're going to do a TV show, you need a band, you need to call Six Wire. And honestly, they when it first came across to me, I said, you guys, there's no way I'm going to do this because it's going to be handkerchiefs and hay bales, and they're going to make Nashville look like a bunch of yeehaws, and we're going to be up there faking music that we're not even playing. I said, I don't think that's a good call for us. So I passed, and then I got a phone call from the music director at the Opry, because Gaylord is has been one of the executive producers of the show, and he said, I don't think you know what this is. It's a show. It's like it's like CSI or something. It's a TV show drama. It's going to be on. It's through Lionsgate. It's going to be on ABC and everything. So we were like, we all will go. Okay, we'll do it. So we went and did it, and met Connie Britton and met Charles Eston and the director and everybody, and they kind of sat us in a big circle, and they wanted to be very, very, very real. They wanted to see she kept asking us, what would my relationship be with you in real life if we'd been if you'd been my band for a long time. So we were just telling her things like that, and it was a lot of fun. And I guess just because of our experience on television, they asked us to do it, and the rest is history. Now we're big, famous TV stars.
How long did it take you to put this record together?
It took, actually, because it depends on how you want to look at it. I mean, some of the songs on here that I recorded 15 years ago, but they'd kind of been sitting there for a long time, and it's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, because I just wanted to give some life to these songs. There's only like two of them that are pretty old. Three of them are pretty old. The rest of them are fairly new. But as far as putting them together, it's kind of unfair to say because they were already recorded, and I just kind of fixed some things up. Well, Rock This Town was not recorded. Beautiful Brand New Day was not recorded. The rest of the stuff, I think I kind of already had at least the bones of them finished, and I just spruced them up. I remixed them and maybe resung a thing or two, played different guitars, things like that. So I guess it probably took me, a couple of months by the time I said, hey, I want to put a record out, to, getting everything together and figuring out which ones. There's some things that I did on it that didn't make it on there, and because I decided to make this whole record songs that I wrote by myself. I write by myself a fair amount of time, but I co-write a lot as well. I have some amazing songs that I'm so proud of, that I wrote with other people, that I'm kind of putting that together now. That'll be probably my next project. And we're also working on a new 6-wire record that we pretty much got getting the songs. Andy and I are putting our heads together, figuring out getting which songs are going to be on that record. So that's kind of in the mix as well.
And a couple people asked where they can purchase, how they can purchase your album.
Well, so here's the deal, and I'll make an announcement about this as well. I just made the decision to go ahead and go and make CDs. I didn't know what the I wasn't sure what the response was going to be, but I decided I was going to I'm going to go ahead and make some, and I'm going to have them available on my website. I'm going to figure out how much I'm going to sell them for, and it'll include shipping and all that kind of stuff. So you can just let me know. You can order them online through my website, and I'll let you know when those are available. It should be within the next month or so. We're trying to get the artwork together and the liner notes and all that kind of stuff, because I do want to have something to have. The reason I'm doing this video series is to have things that have, since we don't have liner notes on iTunes and things like that, I wanted to be able to have something that explained the songs. Someone else asked me about putting lyrics on the website on my website. I think it's a great idea, actually, and I probably will do that really soon. I'll have that a section on my website as well if you want to know the lyrics of the songs. I missed that about records. You used to sit there and you take the sleeve out and had the lyrics all over everything. That was always really fun as a kid, sitting around. But so the next my next thing will be printing up some actual physical CDs that you guys can buy if you want to. And we'll also have them for sale at Six Wire shows and also at Charles Eston's shows. He said, sell them on my shows, So I'm putting them out there on his merch table. And so if you come and see Chip, see us play with Chip, then you'll be able to get one of my CDs there.
I think that's it.
All right, that's it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And appreciate you guys hanging with me every week. And it's been a lot of fun for me. And I didn't know how good at it I was going to be. I still don't know how good at it I am, but sorry about the technical glitches. And
give your website one more time.
my website is just stevemandile.com. Pretty easy. Just look it up. STEVEMANDILE.com. And there's a bunch of stuff on there. There's some cool pictures from over the years I've taken with some artist friends and musician friends and other different shows that we've done, and it also has some different information about the record and some different things, and I'm constantly updating it. So all these videos that we do here will be on the website as well. So
And there's a direct link to the iTunes.
and there's also a direct link to iTunes. If you want to go get my record, you can do that, or just search me on iTunes. It's also on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. All different kind of places like that. So anyway, I will see you next. We see the next song is it Far to Go? I think it's number 4. It's Far to Go, which is one of my favorites on the record, and it's kind of a funny story about that one as well. But that's the next one. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. See you next week.